Hello everyone, as with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful evening wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. And I gotta start with this from Michael Branch, Paul Barron and Jesse. Discussions about a digital Bretton Woods intensify in the financial world. The deep ties between Ripple and global clearing giant DTCC are coming to light. What they're talking about is this right here. Donald Donahue, former president and CEO of the DTCC, joined Ripple Labs as an advisor in 2015. Vanessa Estrada, after serving as director of business development at Ripple, she joined DTCC as managing director of digital products. Michael Bodson, he served as both the CEO of the DTCC and a member of the Ripple board of directors. I always said Ripple, when their employees leave, I think it's a deployment. You see where they go when they leave Ripple. Robbie Mitchnick is a great example of that. He went from Ripple over to BlackRock. And I think it's like a deployment so that they can integrate RippleNet and XRP into the DTCC, into BlackRock, into other companies as well. Ripple and XRP was chosen a long time ago. You are literally holding the future when you're holding this cryptocurrency. Fidelity is launching Ripple USD competitor. This is such a great article. I'm going to read you the last sentence. Fidelity's soon-to-be-launched token will initially serve institutional clients needing 24/7 settlement and retail users on the Fidelity crypto app. This is a Fidelity stablecoin. Who's going to utilize it outside of Fidelity? Most likely no one. This is not an RLUSD competitor. And it really doesn't matter because this is another stablecoin that will eventually need a bridge like XRP. I love when they drop these stablecoins and right away people are like, well, there you go. They're never going to need to use XRP. But yet every one of these stablecoins will always need a bridge. Bitmart announces the new listing of Ripple USD, RLUSD. It's non-stop momentum for RLUSD right now, and it's so hard to ignore this type of momentum. And this all brings value back to XRP. This comes from David Schwartz. He's telling you everything you need to know. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I'm pretty sure XRP's use as a bridge in Ripple payments dwarfs every other asset. I think stablecoins win for collateral use cases. Volatile collateral is annoying. And edge use cases. Volatility at the on-off ramps is also annoying. For almost everything else, I still think digital assets work better. Unless you're risk adverse, you'd probably prefer to hold most top-tier digital assets over cash. I also think that more use of XRP Ledger for real financial use cases will translate to more utility and value for XRP. XRP has a privileged place on the XRP Ledger and is not as likely to get worked around as, say, ETH has been. What he's telling you is everything that comes to the XRP ledger adds utility to XRP, and it also adds value to XRP as well. That's why XRP and RLUSD are not competitors. Harvard highlights settlement networks. A Harvard analysis examines Visa patents and points to XRP and Stellar as ideal networks for digital settlement. You gotta love when they're teaching this in the classroom. What they're talking about is XRP's 3 to 5 second settlement times, minimal fees, and scalability for cross-border flows. Stellar offers complementary advantages with its focus on financial inclusion and low-value transfers. The network processed millions of transactions for remittance projects. Ripple, XRP, and XLM, they're not so different. People always think that it's XRP versus XLM. They're going to work side by side in the new financial system. And when you see Harvard talking about this and teaching this in a classroom, you know this is the future. This is not something that's just going to disappear over time. Do you know how much Harvard tuition is? Do you honestly think they're going to teach something that is not going to be valuable in the future? Ray Dalio just said the quiet part out loud. If you depreciate the money, it makes everything else look like it's going up. Take a listen to this.
So, for example, last year, American markets significantly underperformed foreign markets. And people don't quite realize that. And the best asset class, in a sense, was gold, but think of that as being the money. So in answer to your question, okay, I've learned, that was a lesson I learned, that if there's a depreciation in the value of money, it makes everything look like it's going up.
And that's what's happening. The US dollar is continuing to lose more and more value. And everybody talks about the stock market booming. You know, that is just, it's a distraction from what's really going on. The US dollar is coming to an end. Robert Kiyosaki says, great time to sell fake dollars to buy real gold, silver, and crypto. And I don't really agree with anything Robert Kiyosaki says, but he is spot on with that post right there, because you got to move away from the US dollar. And so many people in crypto right now, what do they want to do? They want crypto to go parabolic so they could sell their entire bag for dollars that are going to continue to lose more value. I'm telling you, the dollar is coming to an end. We are going to a gold-backed system. And then you get to hear this from Scott Bessent. Take a listen.
Inflation's coming back down towards the Fed's target. We're seeing rents drop. We're seeing gasoline drop. We're seeing President Trump out there fighting every day for lower drug costs, and we're going to see that. And again, you know, affordability has two components, and we're going to see real wages go up for working Americans. So controlling cost, wages up, and as I said, these big tax refunds. So I think we're going to have a boom in 2026. And Sean, the important thing here is it's going to be a non-inflationary boom, and I think it could really extend for several years.
So what do you all think? You think we're going to see this massive boom in 2026? Take notice, he says rents are dropping, gas is dropping. But what about groceries? Groceries continue to go up in price. And it doesn't really matter because the dollar is not going to stop losing value. It's a currency that can't even hold its peg anymore. It's starting to lose so much value that eventually the dollar is going to be worth less than a quarter. I think right now they say that it's worth 30 cents in from 20 years ago. In other words, the dollar compared to where it's at right now, it's worth about 30 actual cents. They laughed at the home computer. They laughed at the internet. They laughed at Bitcoin. XRP, they'll beg to buy it later. This is the one that swallows them all. I'm telling you now that XRP, it's going to be the #1 cryptocurrency. It was built from day one to be a better Bitcoin. You honestly believe Bitcoin is always going to be the number one cryptocurrency. It's already on the road to irrelevance. Technology doesn't go backwards. It only goes forward. And as it continues to push forward, it's leaving Bitcoin behind. BlackRock will file for an XRP ETF. Take a listen to Canary Capital CEO Stephen McClurg predicting BlackRock having an XRP ETF.
From institutions, like how does BlackRock wake up one day and say it's time for a spot XRP ETF or a spot HBAR ETF? Like, what do we need to do to get there?
I actually think it's really close. It wouldn't surprise me if BlackRock files for a XRP, potentially Solana ETF sometime the end of 2026 or 2027. I mean, you've already got Fidelity, you've already got Franklin Templeton in the race there, so it's not going to be a whole lot longer before BlackRock also looks at this. I mean, Invesco just filed for a Solana ETF. Give it time; XRP will be there as well, and these are the largest ETF providers out there. So I think it has to do with a few functions. They want to see demand, they want to see high market cap, and
okay. So how is there not institutional demand? Every single day, we watch 20 million of inflows go into XRP spot ETFs. Some days it's 40 million. Other days it's close to $50 million. Why would BlackRock wait until the end of this year to go in on a spot XRP ETF? I think the reason we haven't seen a BlackRock's XRP ETF yet is because I don't think it's coming. I honestly think something so much bigger is being built in the background by Ripple and BlackRock. And I think it has to do a lot with tokenization. Switzerland officially legalizes 0% capital gains tax for crypto. Country after country is doing this now. The US should already start looking at this, because if you want to be the crypto capital of the world, you start with taking away the taxes on crypto. It will bring so many new investors into this space. Think about it. People would instantly go and empty out their bank accounts and go all in on crypto, because then they know that they would cash out their 401ks and go all in on crypto, because crypto is only going to go up in value. And imagine not having to worry about taxes when you cash out. National Cryptocurrency Association says crypto payments are being accepted by businesses of all types and sizes. Our new report shows large enterprises are embracing crypto the most, but small and mid-sized businesses aren't falling behind. So large enterprise, 50%, $500 million in revenue. Mid-size enterprise, 32%, $10 million to $500 million in revenue. Small enterprise, less than $10 million in revenue, 34%. We already know that businesses are going to be going all in on crypto throughout the rest of this year. We're going to see small businesses creating XRP treasuries, buying and locking away XRP for long periods of time. This is also part of scarcity as well for XRP. Wait until the liquidity pools start to show up. You honestly think the BIS didn't put that in those white papers for no reason? That was the blueprint. That's what's coming. And when you see Enbridge and all these other projects, you're going to see liquidity pools holding massive amounts of XRP set up in between countries, in between banks, in between small businesses and their distributors. Liquidity pools are going to be a thing very soon as well. once cross-border payments really start to pick up more and more momentum, that's when you will see the rise of liquidity pools being used for on-demand liquidity. That's where XRP really shines, and that time is coming also. But until it happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.